There is a duel in the desert live in Las Vegas, Nevada this Saturday, August the 15th. UFC 250 is going down. Just a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page and hit that bell if you want notifications every time we post a new video. Welcome to Picks Parlays. I'm your host, Allie Burns, and today I've got the fight analyst himself, Garrett Kerman, on the line with us. Garrett, how is it going, man?
It's going great. I'm super excited for this weekend. We have a massive pay-per-view on tap, and I can't wait and ready to make a ton of money.
Well, I hope that you can help us all do that. I don't know too much about fights. I really like to watch them, so I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Let's kick things off with match number 4. It's the featherweight fight between Herbert Burns and Daniel Panetta. Now, Burns' record is 11-2. Panetta's 26-13, so he's the more experienced fighter here. Both of these men Brazilian jiu-jitsu style of fighting. Who do you think has the real advantage? I know Burns is 2 inches taller, has a little bit longer of a reach, and he is the favorite at -165. Where do you stand on this one, Garrett?
I'm all over Herbert Burns here. I'm taking him by a submission at -165 there. I think he's just worlds better in the realm of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, world champion. He's brothers with Gilbert Burns, his older brother, who's the #1 rated welterweight in the UFC, fighting for the championship coming up soon. I think he has what it takes to beat a veteran Daniel Panetta. Panetta doesn't really possess anything that he hasn't seen over time. Panetta also fought in the Professional Fighters League, where he actually tested positive for testosterone. So I think him getting off the testosterone, being in the UFC, is really going to be at a disadvantage for him, because it seemed like he was on another level in the Professional Fighters League, and that's not the type of fighter that we've seen over time throughout his entire career. I just think once this hits the mat, I think it's going to be in a different world, and Herbert's going to get the finish by submission very, very fast, even faster than his 80-second submission of Evan Dunham in his last fight.
Whoa. All right. So there you have it. Your first free pick, take Herbert Burns by submission. So we're going to move on to, it's another featherweight match. It's going to be match 8. Danny Chavez and TJ Brown. Brown is 14-7. He's coming off a loss on February 29th by submission to Jordan Griffin. He uses a switch stance and he has a slightly longer reach. Chavez is 10-3 and he's on a 3-match winning streak. He also had the more recent fight. He won his last one in July. I kind of like lead to go with momentum here. I'm seeing Brown as the favorite at -140, but it seems like Chavez kind of is a little bit more in his own game. What do you think? Where do I go with this one?
I'm looking to take Danny Chavez by +120. I think he's a UFC debuter coming into his first fight in the UFC. He's looked great in the regional scene. I've actually got to take some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes down here in South Florida with him. Great coach. I've seen him fight live as well. He's got some really good heavy strikes, heavy leg kicks. He's got multiple knockouts, 3 in a row, which is why it led him to get to this point fighting in the UFC. TJ Brown really hasn't fought up to his competition. His fight IQ is just not great. He's only beaten bad competition on the regional scene. In his last fight against Jordan Griffin, it showed that he gasses and he just doesn't fight smart. He went in for a takedown, left his neck out there, and he got snatched up by Jordan Griffin, snatched it up really quick. It was quite easily. He even got it into half guard, which is very, very hard for someone to get a submission via guillotine choke in half guard, and he was able to get it. So I'm leaning with Danny Chavez here. We're getting a good line at +120. There has been a ton of line movement on this line. I believe Danny Chavez opened up as a +205 underdog, and then it got steamed very, very quickly because a lot of the sharps jumped right all over that. And I still think we're getting a lot of value here because I think he's going to win, and we're going to get him at plus money.
Yeah, it stinks not to get the best number there, but hey, that's a ton of reverse line movement to confirm your play. So it all evens out. Just in case you missed it, the pick is Danny Chavez plus money 120. Last free pick for you. We're going to do match 5, the bantamweight. It's going to be 35-year-old John Dawson against a 29-year-old guy with a really tough name to say, Davalishvili. Am I right?
You're right.
Davalishvili.
You're right.
That's a fun one. So Davalishvili is 11-4. Dawson is 22-11. Davalishvili's won 4 in a row by unanimous decision. Dawson won his last fight, but it was after 2 consecutive losses. He just knocked out Nathaniel Woods in 3 rounds. Where do we go with this? When I'm seeing Davalishvili as a -160 favorite here, tell me what to do, Fred?
Yeah, I'm all over Marav Davalishvili here. He's been one of my my cash cows, I would like to say, and I'm taking him by
Nice.
decision. Most of his wins are via decision. He's just an extremely strong grappler. Over his time, he is a silver medalist in combat sambo in the Worlds just about last year at 155 pounds. So he fights at a much bigger weight class. He's way bigger than Dawson. Dawson used to fight 125 pounds. And Dawson is just a journeyman. He's only 4-4 at 135 pounds. And I just don't think he possesses the power that a lot of people are really talking about in this fight. That's really going to change the game. That's really going to stop Davalishvili from just going forward and just wrapping him up and taking him down. Davalishvili averages over 8 takedowns per 15 minutes, which is absurd, and I think it's #1 in the entire UFC. Yeah, he broke the single fight record with 15 takedowns landed in one single fight. He's just an absolute ball of fire. He's nonstop. His cardio is insane. In the 25-foot cage, the smaller cage is really going to help him a ton in this fight because Dawson is very elusive and he uses a ton of movement. And being in this smaller cage, he's going to be able to cut off the angles and just be able to get in around his waist and just dump him on his head numerous times. And I think he's going to run away with a decision here and finally get the ranking that he deserves. And he's finally going to be on the up and up and contend for the belt at 135 pounds.
All right, you sold me, man. I'm going to give me some Davalishvili action today, okay? All right, Garrett, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about yours. So where can we find you when you're not on picksandparlays.net?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Fight Analysts with an S, or Instagram and Facebook, The Fight Analysts with an S. You guys follow me, like my page.
All right, guys, those are your 3 free picks for UFC 252 from Garrett Kerman. I'm your host, Allie Burns, and this is Picks and Parlays.